Hey everybody, what's going on? So a little bit of a weird position tonight as I'm doing a an odd. Hey, what's going on, Turkey Noodle? How you doing, man? Just about knocked my teeth out. Um, so doing a little something different. I'm tattooing, so that's not different. Sorry, I'm late as well. Totally good excuse, but still just an excuse. So we're not going to worry about it too much. All right. Anyway, so I am doing something a little bit different. So I've got things set up a little bit different. You can see I'm kind of off to the side, uh, and yeah, this is going to be a big one. Hey, what's up, James Skull? How you doing, man? James, bro, glad you show up. Just so you know, Turkey Noodle's name is also James. So James and James, what's going on? Some of the best people I know. Um, Yeah, this is going to be my biggest. I keep getting bigger, but this is going to be my biggest one. So let me give you a little backstory, and then I'll show you what it is. Yeah, you James's are typically awesome. So I don't even know if I need a backstory. Let's just go ahead and look at it. See if I can get it in frame. I don't know if you can see this guy or not. I don't know if you recognize him. So if you watched, hey, what's up, cat? So if you've ever watched like uh, the Halloween series, the Ichabod Crane and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So this is Mr. Toad, and he is just about to start his in depth discovery of his love of adventure in automobiles, and he just goes nuts in this thing. Yeah, Toad. So there is Frog and Toad from Wind in the Willows. This just happens to be the animated version of it. So this is the Disney one. I figured that one's probably the most recognizable. Some of the classics, also I guess I would recognize them, but this one's definitely more recognizable. So I'm not trying to completely go on a theme with a bunch of craziness happening on one particular leg. But Mr. Toad was he's kind of my spirit animal for a long time, and I think I passed him off to my son as being my spirit animal. So uh, totally fun loving individual, just great guy to be around, like all this kind of stuff, but just gets carried away with things, and doesn't really think about like things like what's the word I'm looking for, consequences. Doesn't really think about consequences. So um, you've got Mr. Toad and all of his friends, and so right now I don't have all of his friends. What I have is Mr. Toad, and that's because this has all been one giant wild ride. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and dig down on this thing. So at first I was going to do like a really light outline on it. I'll probably keep a lot of it pretty light anyway. I drew this from another source, but I always like showing you guys my sketches so you know that I'm not just like printing crap out and you know. So there he is. I sketched him out pretty quick. You can see like I didn't really do too much to make sure that the stick that he's holding was any good. But I went back and measured it later. So I drew this pretty quick, and I probably had the stencil on for maybe 10 minutes. So the longer a stencil stays on, the better. In this particular case, this one's probably one that'll wipe off rather quickly. I'm hoping not, but we'll see. So I'm just gonna kind of start up here at the hat. Yeah, see, already that's starting to lose like some of the stuff, but I figure I need to do that. I'm using a pretty standard size of needles, needle grouping. This is the 12 standard size needle with the round lining. Stream closed captioner, always lovely to see you here. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to get a stretch on all of this and still keep this in focus. So I hope you guys don't mind a little bit. If as always, I kind of disappear for a second, or the tattoo isn't visible or whatever. Definitely trying to. I guess this is kind of me like up in my lining game. Um, so so we'll see how this works out, especially on a calf, right? Never done one of these. So and it's kind of off to the side, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me. So please, be patient and have fun. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to say anything or I do figure that slow and steady wins the race, but I'm not a very patient person, so I do make this pretty quick. Um, Dang it. Sorry, guys. I just gotta take care of something real quick. This is gonna make everything stupid easy. Um, all right. So what's rad about this is I can actually control a little bit better what's going on without having to mess around with my keyboard and stuff. Just control it like a deck. All right, so I am going to be padding, so things will be messy. But the good thing is, I let some people mess around with fake skin this weekend, just so they could see, it's not too bad. The tattoo machine pretty much does what you tell it to, but at the same time, like it does have some tricky little bits to it as far as controlling it and stretching the skin and not, I don't know, not chewing through things, trying to darken them up. Like fake skin is definitely not real skin by any means, but it does its job pretty good. I found that I actually don't like working on fake skin like at all, like because it's just to me it's just so different, like insanely different, like hard to hard to imagine that it's even the same implement that I'm using in my hand. Doesn't even feel like a tattoo machine at that point. Yeah, this is another crazy thing is we actually, I guess it's been about 3 years now. We had a like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's summertime. It's really hot outside, and my wife and I were sleeping really. I mean, like really late, and I was oblivious. Like normally, like if a sheet of paper falls in my house, I think it's the way it takes the ink different. Honestly, um, I mean, not being attached to a person, I think that you just have to get used to, like, I know what this pain is, like I know what this is supposed to feel like, I guess. So like it doesn't bother me, right? Like I don't care if it's attached to a person. I don't if it was attached to a pig and that was legal, I'd probably have some pet pigs around the house. But yeah, I'd actually prefer if it was attached to a person now because that person would most likely be me, and I'd end up with a new tat. But yeah, so my wife and I, we were sound asleep, 2 something, 3 something in the morning, and I was sleeping like super soundly, and she wakes me up. She's like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "No, what?" It would be a badass pig. I'll get to that in a second. So, so I was like, what? And she's like, something. There was just a big crash. I think it came from downstairs. Maybe it came from outside. And I was like, oh, I was like, well, big army dude or whatever. I'm like, all right, now's my chance, So I go downstairs and I like walk around and I don't see anything. And so I go back upstairs and she whispers, I think it's outside. And our windows were open. I think it's outside. There's some man in our yard. And I was like, there's a man in our yard? And so, she's like, yeah, there's a man in our yard. And I look outside and sure enough, there's this dude like crawling around. I couldn't figure out what he was doing. He was just crawling around our yard 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is strange. Like our neighborhood is not the kind of neighborhood where you'd expect to find somebody crawling around. So but yeah, I go, I come back downstairs and I look outside and I can see that there's an overturned golf cart. This dude had rammed his golf cart. Like we have like a terraced kind of ledge in our front yard that's about 3 feet high at the place where he went over it. Drunk as hell, like totally just went right through our yard, leaped over that thing, flipped his golf cart over, and now he's just crawling around in our yard. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's crawling around my yard. So I like shout down, like somebody's, she's calling the police, and I'm like, I encourage that. Yes, please call the police. I don't know who this stranger is crawling around my yard. So she calls the police and, tells them our address and everything. And I shout down to him. I'm like, okay, man, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to get the hell off of my property. The police are already on their way. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I lost my phone. I can't find my phone. And I'm like, take your golf cart and leave. Like, you can come back tomorrow and find your phone. Like, but right now you got to go. I don't know who you are. And he's just crawling around, crawling around. Like, three cops show up. And, sure enough, he's like uber drunk. And, that was kind of his excuse, I suppose. Although, I wish I could get those kinds of excuses and make it okay for me to crash through people's yards and stuff. So, so the next morning is whenever I went through and like I kind of pieced everything together like forensically. Like this guy really took off. Like he ran through probably like 2.5, 3.5 foot tall like rosemary bushes and like azalea bushes and all kinds of stuff. And then like barely missed another giant pine tree. I mean, just he was living on the edge the whole time, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, so he, you know, I guess he lost his what's stopping me from what? Getting a shot pig, or from getting drunk and acting crazy. I know what's not stopping me anymore. Article 15, motion, like, yeah, I don't know. I see, can't really model that kind of behavior, in front of my kids. Like, they would take it as, okay, it's cool to be an adult and get drunk, not, oh, I did my time in the military, so now it's time for me to just go crazy. But but yeah, I don't know, man. I was just kind of shocked. Like, he still lives. Like, we walk by his house occasionally, him and his family and everything, and he's still out there, just pounding away beers on his porch. Luckily, he's not driving that I know of. He hasn't crashed into anything that I know of yet. So, whatever. But but yeah, we walk it. He has yet to apologize or anything like that. I guess I shouldn't expect it. But the reason I even bring that up is because I refer to it as Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So every time we see him, He's just Mr. Toad. I don't know, man. I don't even know if he knows. Like, I mean, I'm sure he has to. I'm sure his wife was like, every time that they pass by for like a month, hey, that's the people's who yard you ran through. Like, I know I would. Like, if Sonny was like drunk on a golf cart, I would sure as hell, like, especially if I had to come and like bail her out of jail. Like, they took him away for with a DUI. Felt bad for that. Like, I just wanted this dude out of my yard. I didn't want him to get in any serious trouble if he was, mostly harmless. But the funny thing is, like, the best part about the whole thing, I know, yeah. And she had to come, like, in her car whenever he called her. She had to come, and then, because he didn't have a driver's license, and he couldn't prove where he lived. Nope, that's not my job, man. Um, and then, he's telling the cops like what after he was failing all these sobriety tests. We watched like it was kind of hilarious and kind of not, but probably more hilarious than not. But he's failing all these sobriety tests and everything, and he's explaining to the cops the whole reason he's in our yard is because he lost his phone. It really would have been. It should have been. It should have been like I really wish that we had a recording of it. But even better than that is us just, in the upstairs bedroom looking down, laughing our asses off. So so he's telling the cops like, "Oh my gosh, like, oh, I can't find my phone. I can't find my phone." And they're like, "Well, what's the number? We'll call it." It was in the golf cart like the whole time. If he just would have taken the golf cart and left, yeah, yeah. If he would have just taken the golf cart and left, it would have been okay. Everything would have been fine for him. I would still be confused as hell. I probably wouldn't know. The only reason I know who he is, where he lives, is because the car that his wife came to, pick him up in, attempted to pick him up in, didn't pick him up. He went to jail. I guess he just had to stay there for overnight or something. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he actually did. He did. Whenever I told him the cops were coming, he did flip it over and take off. And I was like, well, that's that problem solved. The problem is the reason we called the cops is because he came back. He came back, drove through the yard again, and was looking for his phone. I was blown away, man. I was like, oh my gosh, he's back. I keep taking these pauses and like the ink is like slowly dripping out. Yeah. 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 I think that's probably why we were like, it's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Because everything just kind of lined up like just perfectly. It was great. It was like, it's one of those things where it's like, everybody and their brother in this neighborhood has a golf cart and drive around. And like, as cool as that might be, and maybe this is just the hater in me, but as cool as that might be, like, it's not legal, you know? Yeah, they do. It's not, and yeah, it wasn't even like it wasn't an electric one. It was definitely a gas powered one. I mean, and again, maybe that's just the hater in me. Maybe I'm just jealous, right? Maybe I'm jealous that I don't have a golf cart. Maybe I'm jealous that like everybody else, I can't get drunk and ride around flipping my golf cart into people's yards. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Especially in your neighborhood, like I'm sure like tons of people have golf carts. Or maybe this is just like some kind of, redneck Riviera type situation that we have here. I don't really know. This is such an odd angle. I'm like trying to see, kind of adapted this particular pose. And now I'm trying to make it work. And it's only a little difficult because, let's see. Yeah, no one ever gets hurt on a scooter. Bet. That's actually what people like. What drunk drivers who lose their license? That's what they end up driving around. The pain. You're not getting a tattoo, man. You're on a scooter, bro. Gosh, please, like, hold some ink. So scared to like wipe this to see what's there. One, because I'm afraid that all the ink will be gone. Two, I'm afraid that the template will be gone. That's all part of the fun. Didn't you hear him? Like he loves that. It's like his favorite. That's his favorite thing. Think about all the badass stories you could tell, though. Like he could have, he could have said that he was mauled by, some rando fisherman or something. This thing is just not having it. I wonder. That's true. Yeah, and whenever you say that you picked it up yourself, I mean, you sound like you know, you sound like a badass. Like, oh, and then I picked it up, got back on it. Okay, we're done with that one. Okay, where are we at? Man, we're really, man, I'm making good progress here. I'm gonna reach. Uh, Coffee is stuck to my safety wrap. Well, I don't know. Deer, mostly harmless. It's the moose you have to watch out for. You know, moose is not harmless. My way around there. Yeah, that worked out. Okay, that's a good pull. I'll take that. I'll take that line. Yeah, that was a little messy. Oh yeah, yeah, toe tattoo. Well, I mean, you had your own little wild ride there, buddy. It's okay. I'm not. We're not giving you a hard time. Like, come on. I've never even been on a scooter. I want one. I'm gonna drop like, I want corporate sponsorship for this one because I'm about to drop some science. I want one of those little Honda Ruckus machines. This thing's are badass. Like, I think they had. Okay, he's giving you a hard time. Um, I think they have a like top speed of like 30 miles an hour or something. But still, yeah. I mean, I can look at them all day, but I've had cars that were cheaper than that. Like honestly. Like I've literally have had cars that were cheaper than that. So they're a little bit pricey, especially for something you can't like take on that interstate. But whatever. They just don't have that top speed. It might be that they had like 35 miles. Yeah, I know. And they were configurable. I think like I remember the first year they came out. That's how far back LA. I mean, the first year they came out in the states, I should say. I'm sure that they were out somewhere else overseas, but um, yeah, they were. You could get them with all these different packages, and I don't know. Just seemed it seemed like a really it seemed like a really good value if you were scootering around. Never really lived in a place where I could just scooter around though. Not even here. Like as small as Augusta is, it's like it seems like there's a lot of suburban sprawl to it. There's just all these little, like it's gonna take forever, to go 5 miles because traffic. But at the same time, like it's only 5 miles. There's been times whenever I've been looking at traffic and I'm like, holy crap! Like back in my healthier years, I could take off running and beat this traffic. Like I can move faster on foot. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds? Let me fix my bus up, and maybe I can strap a little scooter to it, take my bus wherever it is I need to be, and then scooter around. Might as well go ahead and take care of this. Yeah, yeah, I know, I do, and I plan on it actually. Um, I am in the process. My wife found this great deal on uh, tool carts, and I know what I'm about to do is bad, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm not sure why all the ink is just pulling up on the bottom, so I'm going to suck some up using the actual needle while it's running. See if I can get a little bit more. But yeah, she found a great deal. Like it's two craftsmen. You watch me walk around like and accomplish nothing. Is basically what I just read. Um, she got two of these craftsman chests for like nothing. I mean, it was like anything at all. So I spent a little time today doing what I do and kind of organizing it a little bit. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Hallucinations, I guess. Um, Maybe the voltage is too. But yeah, so I got some of that, that non-slip, like sticky kind of stuff to go inside the drawers of it. I mean, they're old. They're not like brand new or anything, but But seriously, since I don't really know what I'm doing with the bus, like I've worked on a Volkswagen before, but I mean, it's like every time I turn around with that thing, like there's something new and different that's wrong with it. I guess. Yeah, that's why we don't do what I just did. Um, and that gets a little frustrating. So, I mean, you're watching me draw. I'm not trying to downplay anything, but you're watching me draw a toad on my leg. So yeah, I guess working on an antique bus would be like the next thing. I got to find a state that'll let me tattoo mobily. That's what needs to happen. That bus would be done like in no time flat. Be like, what? I guess also, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't want to be associated with a state that could allow me to tattoo mobily. That does sound pretty. I can imagine being able to give people the best or worst mistakes of their lives. Yeah, probably Florida or Arizona. I don't know. Arizona seemed to be like a mixed bag of like rules that made sense or didn't. It's like, oh, you can own a tank fully functioning in the state of Arizona, um, but heaven forbid you know don't register it or something. I don't know. Um, you know, I really enjoyed part of Arizona that I'm doing. You know what? Their laws for Volkswagens were pretty weird too. Like they didn't care at all about VIN numbers. I don't, I just know this through some friends, not firsthand experience, but like, hey, what's up, Gary? How you doing, man? I'm assuming you are coming from the gym where all Garys get swole. You've missed so much, man. You've missed so much. But I guess I can restart the whole process. My next investment is a laser removal machine. Just kidding. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A boat, my man. It's an investment and a half, but totally worth it if you're going to use it. I just hate like whenever I see a boat in the neighborhood not move, but yeah, I would much rather check out a boat than go to the gym these days. So what are you looking at? Like a bass boat or like a ski boat or Pontoon boat. Okay, deal. As long as you don't expect me to drive the thing, we're golden. I only say that because if I'm gonna be on a boat, probably gonna be drinking. Probably. I mean, there's no guarantee. Okay, all right. So what's the verdict? You like considering it, or think you'll wait for another offer? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I bet they go for sale pretty often around here, though. So, mm. Oh, I don't know if you're familiar with Mr. Toad, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So, a Wind in the Willows story. This particular one is animated by Disney. Um, this version that I'm doing here, but essentially, he's like a super fun loving guy who is just like just a little bit out of control. I mean, a lot out of control, but like he's not malicious, right? Like he's not ever trying to put anybody out or get anyone in any trouble or anything. He just so happens to get in a little trouble. So yeah, I'm just doing the outline tonight. I think what once my color skills are a little bit better. Yeah, yeah, chaotic. Exactly, exactly. But yeah, once my color skills are a little bit better, then I definitely am going to hit him up with like the traditional colors that he normally wears. I think the jacket is red. Everything else is various shades of green. Red's a hard one though. Whew, really is. Um, like my skin takes it, and it does a pretty good job with it, but it's like really it's itchy for much longer than the rest of my tattoos. And I don't think I have an allergy to it, but a lot of people do have an allergy. If they have an allergy to tattoo ink, it's probably going to be red. So I'm so glad that I bought this big giant bottle of black. Like I can't believe like how much this is taken. Like, and I'm not running over and over and over or anything. It's just not even as far as my designs have gone, this is fairly tame. Pretty simple, sketchy lines and stuff. I think I really like the way that things flow. Like I mean, you can see it on this leg, like how the pants leg just goes right into the ankle and the heel. I mean, like whoever, like the team of people that drew this guy out, like they knew what was up. Like they made him as slick as any other character could be made. So there we go. Whew. Everything but the pants and the feet. Lean back for a second. Oh man, got this old man back. Didn't have an old man back. Oh crap. Okay, so as I'm getting a little closer down here to the bottom, starting to feel a little bit more of the ouchies there. Definitely say that. Of course, I'd run out of ink. Of course. Ah, find yet. Right now. Yeah, he is super chaotic, but he's a good guy. Like he always tries to do right by his friends. He's an idiot. That's okay. That's the moral of the story. Don't be an idiot. Probably not my main takeaway. I'm all about the play hard kind of understanding of things. If I worked my butt off or something, I definitely want to play. We took a little chance there to actually wipe instead of. I'm also holding off on trying to see what all I've missed because I know my wife she loves it whenever I actually do the squirt bottle part. That's her favorite part. You never know what you're gonna get. So that's not the way that's supposed to go, but okay. Do that. What's really bizarre about this thing is like, well, I guess this isn't really bizarre, but I thought it's kind of weird is that in the in the movie, I really don't remember Mr. Toad having like this cowboy hat. So it's like even though there's like a completely British story and everything, it's like you couldn't, I don't know, like Disney couldn't understand that maybe uh you can't be wild and crazy unless you have a cowboy. But then he's wearing like these crazy little slippers. I don't know, man. Like they're little rich people slippers. Oh, this is the weirdest angle, guys. I can pull a straight line on this, or at least the intended curves. So that, look at that. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Let's see what we missed. Oh, butt broken. All right. Mr. Toad. Oh, that's cold. I mean, so far so good. I think the lines are good. Maybe. Honestly, like line work is like that's the thing I'd be the most concerned about. And like on any tattoo, I'll be I see one mistake, one glaring mistake. So it's that. He doesn't have a tip to his cane. Gotta fix that. But it's like everything else. Some of these lines are a little bit weaker than the others, but I'm okay with it. Sorry, I have to have a little bit of light. I know my white legs just kind of flush that out, but they're this real here. Now I got the shiny stuff. I was afraid, like, and I normally put on some of this super secret butter that I use. It's not a secret because I don't want to tell people. It's a secret because, like, I don't want to name drop and get blacklisted because my tattoos suck. Um, so Yeah, I'm gonna go in, darken up a couple of these little lines on the face. I'm gonna hit that tip of that cane, and maybe down here, there's crotches. I think that'd be about it, man. Like this should be, fairly quick job. Do it right. See? Do the tip of the cane first. Doing any better. How fast this thing run out. This is not my. These are like the not my quality needle cartridges. They don't. They're slightly inconsistent, which is another reason I have to like check and make sure that the lines are actually there. It definitely feels like they're there, but yeah, not bad for a Monday. You know, I feel refreshed. The weekend. Oh, now would probably be a good time to mention too. So my tattoo schedule is going to change slightly. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I can work 4 days in, but I've got a engagement that's going to start every other week on Wednesdays. So I won't be able to do my regular Wednesdays. Which is kind of sad to me. Like, what's the one less evening of hanging out with you guys and tattooing? Which, let's admit, like I have probably too much fun doing. It is. It's for something extremely important. So gotta do what you gotta do, right? Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen! think I actually did line work that I'm happy with. That's like the third time. Let's make sure that the stuff that I put in there is actually there instead of me going over and over and over and over, which is also fun to do, but not really super exciting for me. All right, guys. So here we are. Mr. Toad. Right? Kind of man, that was a weird bend. So yeah. Very fun. Very fun. So yeah. I mean, y'all stuck with it again, stuck by my side, help me out. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Turkey Noodle. Thanks, man. I like that. I need the positive positive vibe sometimes. So appreciate that. Um, yeah, for everyone who stuck with me on this, thanks a lot. You know, be here tomorrow. Thanks. And yeah, tomorrow night about 8:30. Sorry again for being late this evening. Hopefully that didn't screw anybody up other than me. And yeah, we'll see what's going on tomorrow. Thanks. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to knock them out that fast, but thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. I will hopefully see y'all tomorrow.